Hey Robbie and Chris, I wanted to show you a little weather display that I created when I got bored working on my dissertation. This little device consists of a Wi-Fi module and it's connected to this OLED display right here. And on this display, what you're seeing is information from Weather Underground, and it's giving me the time, what the weather is going to be like later on today, as well as the current temperature, a forecast, and then this last screen is showing sensor data from outside of my apartment, where it says Willie's apartment. That sensor data is another little unit that's on my Wi-Fi network, and connected to it are two different sensors. And all of that sensor data is going up into the cloud, and then it's coming back down into this display. So those readings right there, temperature, humidity, and pressure. What I was thinking was that if we created one of these little heads-up displays for the Beehive, then you could have a way of monitoring indoors, because this device is inside my apartment, what's going on outside. Obviously, those temperature, humidity, and pressure readings would need to change. We would have to do something more relevant for the beehives, but you get the idea. So an indoor display like this right here, and then an outdoor device that's collecting data. The one thing is, all of this stuff, both this indoor display and the outdoor device, are all on my Wi-Fi network, and all of the information is being coordinated up in the cloud and sent to the display. So let me show you the outdoor device. Here's the outdoor device. It is controlled by a little Wi-Fi enabled microcontroller right here, and connected to it are two different sensors. There's a temperature humidity sensor, and then over here there's a pressure sensor. Now I picked these two sensors just because they seem most relevant to me, but if we were thinking about a beehive, we could add something like this one-wire thermometer, which has a long cord, and you could stick it into an actual hive to get temperature readings. It could also be included with these sensors right here. It's important to note that all of these sensors right here are sending information up to the cloud to a service called ThingSpeak, which is the Internet of Things service that I'm using to then push this data to that display that's inside my apartment. So let me show you ThingSpeak, because it's kind of cool in terms of the data and the way it collects data. Here is the online service that I'm using to collect all of the data from my outdoor device, the one with the sensors I just showed you, and then take that information and push it to my indoor display to collect the data and just not have to go outside or go to the web. It just shows up on that display that I first showed you. It uses a service called ThingSpeak, which is an online Internet of Things service. It's called the Node MCU Weather Station. Node MCU just refers to the type of microcontroller that I'm using outside. And as you can see down here, this is the graphical data updated in real time from those sensors. So you can see a clear upward trend this morning in temperature outside. Humidity is somewhat dropping. You can see pressure kind of bouncing around, but it's roughly staying in between 1,002 and 1,003 hectopascals. These graphs are updated in real time, so I think it's updating every 20 to 30 seconds. You just saw an update, and it displays everything graphically, which is kind of cool, rather than just having to look at straight numbers. You can see trends. These are a couple of visualizations I created that kind of graph two different readings together. This one's humidity and pressure.
All of this stuff is stored online. I can actually export all of this data from the sensors that's outside and pull it into, let's say, a Google Sheet. I'm not going to do that just because there are thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of readings right now, and it would just take too long. So if you think about the beehives, what I was imagining is using that outdoor device with those sensors, maybe adding that long one-wire temperature sensor to go into the beehive, sending all of that outdoor data via Wi-Fi up to ThingSpeak, where it would graph and record everything that you're seeing right here, but also then push this data to that indoor display that I showed you at first. And that was what I was envisioning. This would work well. The system of using these three different things, ThingSpeak, the outdoor device, and the indoor display, would work well at a home where you can get onto the Wi-Fi network easily. So Robbie, it would work well at your house. Chris, I don't think you have a beehive at your house, but I know your father-in-law does, so it would work well at his house. I'm not sure it would work at school just because of how difficult it is to get on a Wi-Fi network.